Hi team, we run Coach Alexa here, coach for Reading, South Oxfordshire and online. I'm going to try and complete this video today without sneezing at you or coughing, because we are in hay fever season, aren't we? I was out walking the dog bright and early this morning and her lead brushed against a load of grasses on the verge and there was an explosion of pollen going absolutely everywhere. I have definitely more sensitivity, she says with her dry eyes, to the grass pollen that is out at the moment, particularly with the brilliant environmentally no mowing of all my local hedgerows, which is fantastic for bees and wildlife, not quite so good for my eyes. So I thought I'd just touch a little bit on how hay fever impacts our running. So I think the biggest thing that people are finding at the moment is that it might make them a little bit sort of breathless. It might make them just feel a bit groggy. It certainly makes me feel kind of groggy in the mornings, and you've got, you know, the dry sort of puffy eyes. I feel like I'm constantly drinking water because it feels like I've got a really dry throat as well. So you do just end up feeling almost a little bit under the weather. I get caught out every single year. I think I'm coming down with a cold. And then a few days later, oh no, it's hay fever. So the thing to bear in mind is the fact that it is kind of a little bit of an immune system response. So our immune system is reacting to the high pollen levels with an immune response when it kind of shouldn't be, really. It's almost like a type of allergy from that perspective. And because our body's immune system is kind of kicking in against this perceived invader, we will be a little bit low on energy levels. Our heart rate might be a little bit higher, either at resting or perhaps out on a run, because our body's working a little bit harder in the background. So it's one of these things to take into account. If our effort level feels higher than usual for the same pace, or our pace is maybe a little slower for the same effort level or heart rate, then hay fever can be blamed. As I say, you know, the itchy eyes can sometimes be avoided if you're running outside and by lots of hedges or fields with a pair of sunglasses, which I've often got anyway at this time of year. Some people swear by putting a little bit of Vaseline on their eyebrows or on their cheekbones to kind of capture the pollen so it doesn't get blown into our eyes. And the other thing which helps a lot of people at this time of year is hay fever medication. So if you do struggle with hay fever symptoms, definitely worth having a chat with your pharmacist about the different types of medications on offer. Broadly speaking, there are two types. Ones that are antihistamine, so try and damp down that histamine response from our immune system, and the other ones are steroid based. And some different types of antihistamines, different types of steroid ones, some work better for each individual than others. So there's a certain type of antihistamine that I have to look out for on the label that I know is going to make a little bit more of a difference to me. And also you can get other slightly less usual but slightly more weird and wonderful symptoms related to hay fever. Skin itchiness can be one as well. Again, just part of our immune response to the high pollen count. So if you start getting sort of, you know, itchy or irritable skin, that could be linked to the hay fever as well. So, you know, worth talking to either your doctor or pharmacist about getting some medication for that one, because that's not particularly pleasant. Hope it's not impacting you too badly. Yeah, I find, and I don't know whether this is entirely placebo effect, but just regular dunking my head and face in some water to sort of wash off any residual pollen, particularly after I've been outside, is quite helpful when I'm out coaching a lot at this time of year. Dive in the shower anyway, hot and sweaty when I get back, and just wash all that pollen off before I go to bed. It can be quite handy. And I've made it through without sneezing. Excellent stuff. Happy running.